Okay, everybody, this is my first video for Robert Z's 2023 VC Lottery, and gonna answer the first 5 questions in this mess, if I can pull up the right thing. Lots of interesting questions coming my way, and coming everybody's way. Help Robert find the channel, put hashtag 2023 VC Lottery in your show notes, and that will help Robert find everything. Question 1. You're having a big Christmas party. What 3 people who are no longer living would you like to become guests at your party as ghosts? Something like that. The first 2 were easy. The third one I had to think about for a while. Obviously, number 1, best of all time, Karen Carpenter. Love Karen. She is obviously my first choice for anything like that. We lost her way too young, and my life changed forever when she passed away, and things haven't been the same, you know? Second, Steve Clark, guitarist for Def Leppard. Steve is an amazing axe man. Unfortunately, he let his demons get out of control. And he passed away at the same age Karen Carpenter did, 32 years old. That's way too young. I didn't know if they'd come back from that. They did. Vivian Campbell stepped in and became their new lead guitarist and did a great job. But Steve had amazing guitar abilities that aren't equaled by very many. Not in my book, at least. The third one, Elliott Smith. Elliott Smith is an incredible songwriter. Again, we lost him way too young. I discovered his music in the movie Paranoid Park. They used a couple of songs of his, and I really fell in love with it, and then I went back and researched it and found that he'd passed away 2 years earlier, and I'm like, wow, that's just scary. He had way too much on his mind to go that soon, and a lot of it's left behind, but there was a lot more he had to tell, and it's a real loss to the music world that he's not there and able to do that. I wouldn't be interested in autographs and stuff. I'd just like to talk to them. Just a big conversation. I doubt that the 3 of them would have very much in common, but it would be an interesting party nonetheless. So that's my answer to question 1. Question 2. The song you never want to hear again anytime in your life. This was hard because there's so many, but there's one that sits so far above the rest that it's scary. And the thing that pisses me off about this song is that not that it got released, but for some reason everybody out there thought, this is a great song, we're gonna love this, we're gonna play it to death, we're gonna make it a #1 hit. Lyrically, this song is shit from beginning to end. All it basically says is, yeah, I'm an asshole, I like it, why don't you like me as an asshole too? That's basically all the song says. It's just one of those songs that I've never understood why people get into it, why people like it, why people continue to play it. Because it's crap from beginning to end. I mean, is it because you identify with what goes on in the song? Are you all that high that you actually think you have something there? Every freaking copy of this song should be gathered together, melted into smelt, and thrown into the sun. It's that crappy. And then, of course, people think it's great because he invented a word. No, he didn't really invent a word. The only way it would be invented is if it were used constantly, and the only people who use it are the idiots that like the song. and a couple of stupid filmmakers. Song I want to see jettisoned for all time and I never want to hear again, The Joker by Steve Miller. Fucking hate that song. I always have. Okay, so now you can be pissed off at me. Let's move on to question 3. Question 3. Robert's going to put me in his chair at his home and zap my memory of one album that I love so that I can experience hearing it again for the first time. You know, I thought about this and I'm like, wow, I don't know what that's going to be. There's so many out there that I would like to do that with. But it came down to 2 albums, both from the year 1978, unique in their own way. But ultimately I picked the album that is at the very top of my list as my favorite album of all time, City to City by Jerry Rafferty. The first time I heard this album, I was 15. I loved Baker Street. I didn't know what the rest was like. I knew I liked his stuff from Steelers Wheel, but I didn't know what he would be like as a solo performer. And I put that album on my stereo and just laid there and listened to it and let it wash over me. And realized, my God, this is one of the most perfect pop albums I've ever heard. It's lyrically brilliant. It's musically intertwined so perfectly. And while I love listening to the album, and it is my all-time favorite album. I still listen to it. I bought the reissue last year, the remastered one. I have the CD. I have the original. It is an amazing album, and the chance to experience that for the first time again, that intrigues the heck out of me. I'd love to have that. I think I'd feel exactly the same way. So, Robert, you can zap City to City by Jerry Rafferty out of my head and play it for me again, and I will get to experience it again for the first time. Love that album. Question number 4. We just did our Mount Rushmore of artists on Finding Your Music Mojo, which is on every other Monday on my channel and Two Hip Chicks. But we didn't get this specific. This was hard. I'm having a sculptor build a Mount Rushmore for my music room. What 4 vocalists would I put on it? Again, without saying, number 1, Karen Carpenter. Karen Carpenter's voice is sent from heaven. She's like an angel singing this perfect music. Every song she did, even Solitaire, which she hated, which I think she did beautifully on, there's no going wrong with that voice. I mean, if you hear the original version of We've Only Just Begun, her voice cracks a little bit during it, and that's really kind of neat. I like that. She had the most incredible voice for that. The only other female vocalist, I love a lot of female vocalists, but the only other female vocalist that even comes close to Karen in terms of quality and power was much younger than her, and she has number 2 on my Mount Rushmore, Stacey Lattisaw. When she was recording, and her career ran from 1979 to 1990 or so, every album she put out was incredible. I mean, she was 13 when Let Me Be Your Angel became a hit in 1980, and she would record the next 10 years, most of it with Narada Michael Walton, but she also moved to Motown later and recorded with Puff Daddy and a few other people. Her voice sends chills through my spine. Even now, I bought the DVD, the box set of all of her albums, even though I had 4 of them already. It was amazing. On CD, I have all the vinyl. On CD, she was doing what Whitney Houston later became famous for, before Whitney ever started. She has I mean, I listened to You Take Me to Heaven, which is off of With You, her 1981 album. Whitney could have never done that song that well. So, number 2, Stacey Lattisaw. Number 3, one of the most unique and one of the most incredible voices I've ever heard, and is why I've remained a fan of theirs for the past 20-some years, and always will. Number 3 on that Mount Rushmore, Taylor Hanson. Taylor Hanson is the lead singer on 90% of Hanson's material. Ike and Zach also do lead, but they also have their own sound to them, and I can't put all 3 of them here, so Taylor is here. You listen to, I mean, forget about Mbop, which is great, but I mean, move forward to stuff that most people don't know. Great Divide from The Walk, Underneath, the title track from Underneath. Underneath, listen to that voice. You can hear the pain. You can hear the sorrow. You can hear what's happening in the song in the way Taylor sings this song. Yearbook, which he re-recorded for String Theory in 2018. His voice is still amazing. And you gotta remember, these guys were... Taylor was 14 when Mbop hit. He's gonna turn 40 next year. There's no difference. It's got a little deeper, but the sound... His sound has not changed. And it's amazing. His music, his voice is incredible. The 4th person might surprise people because he's relatively new on the scene. He's only been around about a decade. But I'll tell you something. This man has made me cry more than any other artist I own. I talked about him on Influencers recently. His way with lyrics and his voice, and like Taylor, he has this ability to feel everything in his song and make you feel it as well. There's something magic about that. So the 4th person on my Mount Rushmore is Lucas Forchhammer from Lucas Graham. I love his voice. I would have them commission him with long hair. He just butched his hair. He looks like 40 years older, and he's like 35. But longer hair. But that has nothing to do with the voice. You hear him sing Not a Damn Thing Changed, and you know that he's grieving for friends. You hear him sing Everything That Isn't Me, and you know he's remembering what he was like as a teenager and how people kind of thought he was obnoxious. You listen to a beautiful song like Scars. We all got scars. We all get hurt sometime. You feel the pain he's feeling. Even on the bubbly stuff, like Off to See the World, which they recorded for the My Little Pony movie. There's fun, there's excitement, there's adventure in his voice. So my 4 Mount Rushmore vocalists are Karen Carpenter, Stacey Lattisaw, Taylor Hanson, and Lucas Forchhammer. If you've not heard any of them, you should check them out. Question 5. Think about your channel. Think about the way you operate it, the way you run it, the way you think about what you do. And pick a theme song. I did a video on this already, but I decided not to use it. I just wanted to throw it all together because I just think it's easier. When I started in the vinyl community, which is coming up on 3 years next month, I was stuck at home because of the pandemic, and I was looking around, and I'm like, this is really great, but I'm not going to fit in here. I don't listen to prog. I don't listen to classic rock. I'm a pop guy. I like a little bit of everything. I like some classic rock. I like some prog. I'm not obsessed. I'm not obsessed with Rush. I'm not obsessed with Miles Davis and the other smooth jazz or classic jazz people. I'm not obsessed with Jethro Tull, you know. I like Yes, they're okay. But I'm a Barry Manilow kind of guy. I'm an ABBA kind of guy. Hanson. I have my heavy metal, Def Leppard and Styx and those. I have pop. I would never fit in here. Oh yeah, there's some of these people out there that keep talking about this band from Liverpool called the Beatles. people look at me and they think, what a weirdo, most of the time, I'm sure. But they also look at me and say, his stuff is so unique from everybody else. I'm going to watch him. That really makes me feel good. I didn't think I'd have 5 subscriptions. I'm 400 and something. And I'm trying to get over 500. The one song that fits me says, you know, if you like what the bridge of the song says, if you like what I'm doing, come take my hand, but if you must be going, I will understand. And I do. Some people are not going to like what I do. The song was written by the incomparable songwriting team of Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil. We just lost Cynthia on Friday. Incredible singer, incredible songwriters. And this song was perfect. And it was a big hit in the 60s, but the version I picked, I love the original, and I've heard several between. But there was a remake in 2018 by a European artist named Paloma Faith, which is now being heard for the first time in a major way in the US because they're using it in the commercials for the Barbie movie. I'm hoping it's going to be on that soundtrack because I'd love to see it become a hit again. My theme song, make your own kind of music, because that's exactly what I do. Make your own kind of music, sing your own special music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music even if nobody else sings along, because that's what I do. That describes me to a T. If you haven't heard the new version, I'm sure you will. And think of me when you do, because it's a great song, and it's exactly how I think about stuff. I'm the guy that's going to show you, you know, I might have some Def Leppard. I'm the guy that pushes Hanson. I love Lucas Graham and the Ready Set. I'm also the guy that's going to show you the Flash Beagle soundtrack, for God's sake, and Zoom stuff, and Tony Mottola, and 101 Strengths. I love beautiful music stuff, and radio transcriptions from American Top 40, Rick Dees, all these other shows. I'm into it all. I am an all-around kind of guy. And that song describes my stuff perfectly. So question 5, make your own kind of music. I will be back with more when Robert has more of his questions up. Robert, great stuff on the lottery. Hang in there. Still plugging it out of the wazoo, out of my end. And everybody have fun, because that's what the lottery's about. TC, sees you later. Bye-bye.